I didn't write who this question was by, so sorry to whoever this was. Have you guys ever thought about discussing the ethics of eating meat? I remember you mentioning, what if a spider could talk? It'd be different. Well, what if a pig could talk? So, what comes to mind straight away for me is there is something very interesting in how we've taken an animal, we put it into a different context, and now we go from loving it and to killing it. So this would be in countries like in India, they worship cows, whereas we mass slaughter them in the UK. You've got, the Chinese eating dogs, whereas we love our dogs in the UK. You've got snails being eaten in France,
Mm.
where, I mean, we just kind of crush them. And
No, we don't.
in
Well, I
the
don't,
UK,
but yeah.
no, I try not to. I try not to. I don't even know how. Do they mass produce snails in France? Do they have like,
Snail breeding
kind of,
centers, I
kind of
don't
like
know.
they do? Yeah, kind of like they do cows, and they just kind of like eat grass and mass breed them. Um, but
These are the real questions.
yeah, I guess that's the first question that comes from it. What's kind of going on with the ethics of putting something in a different context, and now we want to kill it?
It's one of those things that it's such a horrible situation that I just hate thinking about it, but I think it's important for sure. And your point is so right, we change the context of a situation and how we feel about it just massively alters. Um, you'd probably most people would go to a little farm and see a piglet and think, oh, that's really cute. But then that morning you probably ate bacon. So it's like there's this no, but it is, isn't it? There's this like there's this intrinsic hypocrisy to the fact that we eat so much meat. And I was a vegan for a year and a half, but I didn't feel very good on the diet, and it was sort of I lost a lot of weight. And being an athlete, I do perform better when I have like loads of eggs in my diet and stuff. I think the problem is, right, no one in their right mind agrees with factory farming. It's terrible. It is the mass slaughter and abuse of beings, of alive, or, live conscious animals is just it's disgusting. And so when I do buy shitty meat from supermarkets and stuff, I'm contributing to that fucking disastrous situation, and it's horrible. Um, but do I think eating meat as a practice is immoral? Well, no, because primal man would have done that in the wild to survive. We were predators. We were prey for sure for many creatures. We were their prey, but we were definitely predators to others. And so, just like any other fragment of the food chain, it's a part of nature that we did hunt and we did eat animals. But do I think fucking packaging it in a supermarket and injecting it with steroids and it's just, oh, Jake, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's not a nice part of life. And so that'd be my perspective on it. I'm a meat eater,
Yeah,
but as soon as if I'm lucky enough to be in a financial position where I can eat like high quality or I know where the meat's coming from, then I will. Um, but it's one of those ones that just there is no real nice right answer to it.
yeah. When I get in the supermarket, I see these like 12 pack of bacon for like really cheap.
Mm.
I'm like, that's not right.
No,
But
that's
I
flesh for being. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I have to go for the six pack. That's a bit more expensive and it's better quality, and it's better quality because I don't feel like that 12 pack. It can't be that cheap and that much more value and be those pigs be in good condition.
Well,
Um,
there's a phrase, isn't there? There's no such thing as a free lunch. And what that and isn't that that's links to a law in Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power as well, was it? Like
yeah.
reject the free lunch or despise the free lunch or whatever. It just basically means if something's cheap, then there's been they've cut corners somewhere or the cost is going to be inflicted on you, on your health, or there was, it was somebody along the production process hasn't been paid in a moral way. And so it's not cheap, it's not free because someone has taken the cost somewhere along the line, whether that's you or someone early on or a corrupt way that company's gone about their production. It's just something's off about it.
Why did you become a vegan initially?
I watched two Netflix documentaries. I watched
Uh,
I watched um what was it called? I watched The Game Changers and I watched Cowspiracy.
that's how a lot of I think vegan starters watching one of those.
And I was in
Um,
lockdown and I had so much time on my hands to make salads. So
to just hit you like, oh shit.
I probably ate healthier. Like I ate loads of it, like loads of good vegetables back then. I was proper on it, but I wasn't right mentally. That was when I was in my sort of like OCD obsessive days and things weren't right. And I was it was a consequence of that. I think I had a sort of bit of overly healthy eating disorder type vibes. But yeah, an interesting
I
experience
was,
to go through.
I also have written here the fact that like in France, like they eat snails and England wouldn't really we wouldn't really touch them. It's like it's a good metaphor for well, even if loads of people, there'll always be someone that wants your product or wants what you're offering. Like this is why on the internet people are selling their piss and just ridiculous stuff because there's always a consumer. It's just like there's such a big contrast to people who would hate to ever do something and then people that would love it and it's rare and it's like there'll always be an audience like for whatever that will consume whatever you even like personally whatever your sort of gift is to the world and the way that you think there'll always be an audience of people like you.
Yeah, you just have to find them. I mean, that's why Naval Ravikant's so wise, isn't he? Where he says like authenticity is one of the best ways to achieve wealth, is because you are the only person that can do and sell your own interests, your unique cocktail of skills and interests and attributes and characteristics. And so there will be a handful of people out there in the bloody 8 billion people on Earth that are like you and find what you do interesting and want to invest in it. You just have to express what you are and who you are in the world as much as possible until you find those people.